But we need leadership because the relationship with Russia remains existential. And it's in the tank.
And it's dangerous, as you point out in the book.
It's existential. It's a matter of life or death.
So, as you have pointed out many times, there was a commitment made to Gorbachev that as long as Germany was allowed, after the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, to unify, NATO would not be expanded.
No. It was not only, here was the discussion in 1990, right? The wall had come down. Germany was reunifying. The question became, where would a united Germany be? The West wanted Germany in NATO. For Gorbachev, this was an impossible sell back home in the Soviet Union. 27.5 million Soviet citizens had died in the war against Germany, Second World War, on the Eastern Front. I mean, contrary to the bunk we're told, the United States didn't land on Normandy, save Private Ryan, according to these guys, and then, defeat Nazi Germany. The defeat of Nazi Germany was primarily done by the Soviet army, but it cost 27.5 million Soviet citizens. So how could Gorbachev go home in 1990 and say, guys, Germany's reunited, great, and it's going to be in NATO? It was impossible. So they told Gorbachev, we promise that if you agree to a reunited Germany and NATO, NATO would not move, this was Secretary of State Jim Baker's formulation, 1 inch, or maybe he said 2 inches, 1 inch to the east. In other words, NATO would not move from Germany eastward toward Russia. And it did. As we speak today, NATO's all along Russia's borders, from the Baltics to Ukraine to the former Soviet Republic of Georgia. So what happened? Later they said Gorbachev lied or he misunderstood. That promise was never made. But there's an archive called the National Security Archive in Washington that has now produced all the documents of the discussion of 1990. And it was not only Bush, it was the French leader Mitterrand, it was Margaret Thatcher of England. Every Western leader promised Gorbachev NATO would not move eastward. So what do you end up with today? What Russians call predatorstvo, betrayal. And any discussion about American-Russian relations today, an informed Russian is going to say, we worry you'll betray us again.
Wir waren uns einig, dass nicht die Absicht besteht, das NATO-Verteidigungsgebiet auszudehnen nach Osten. Das gilt übrigens nicht nur in Bezug auf die DDR, die wir da nicht einverleiben wollen, sondern das gilt ganz generell.
This transcript, released by the State Department, proves U.S. officials understood that the non-extension assurance that they were talking about, which Genscher said they were in full agreement with, applied to all the other eastern countries too.
How would the Americans react if we placed our missiles on the border between Canada and the United States or on the Mexican border? Not a single inch to the east, they told us in the 90s. And what do you know? They cheated. They just deceived us blatantly. 5 ways of NATO expansion. And there you go. Now in Romania and Poland, weapon systems appear.